Well, you saw Mr. Moreno gambling at the casino after owing you this money, yes?
When he owed me the money.
When he owed you money, yes. What were those run-ins like?
Well, I approached him and I asked him about the loan. And the first time he told me that he didn't have it. And I told him, well, I'm going to take you to court. And he told me, do what you have to do. And the second time I saw him at the end of the row. I took my camera and I zoomed in on him and took a picture of him. Then when I approached him, he ran out the casino.
Did you do that?
Him and her.
Oh.
So, is this you at the casino? Is that you?
Oh, yeah, that's me, yes.
Is that the slots machine?
Yes,
What are you doing at the slots machine when you owe her money?
I was with Claudia. She was playing. Claudia was playing.
With whose money?
Her money.
You couldn't ask her for the money to pay her back?
She didn't have the money, I guess. No, she didn't.
She had the money to play the slot machine.
Maybe like $10, $5.
You should have given her every dollar you had toward this loan, don't you think? Or were you trying to hit it big so you could just pay her off? Were you trying to gamble to win some money?
Would be nice.
I doubt she was even in your thought when you were at the slot machine.
Oh,
What did you do with the money that you borrowed?
What happened, I have a lot of bills behind me, and I paid a couple, bills, too.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to, like, I couldn't do it, but
I know in your
it
heart
very
you wanted
bad.
to, but you knew you couldn't. Judge Juarez.
When the plaintiff offered you the money to fix the bus and it didn't happen because it had been impounded and ultimately taken by the lien holder, why not just offer her back the money right then and there?
I know.
mean, that probably would have been the safest thing to do, right?
I don't know. I wasn't like every time I have like problems to pay bills in my rent and things, and I start getting little by little money, and it went quick,
Ms. Hill, was this an amount that you just had kind of slushing around in your bank account, or was this a significant amount of money to you?
That's the money that I had.
Why decide to charge him $1,000?
No, I didn't charge him $1,000.
Okay.
He told me if I loaned him $3,000 to get the bus out of impound, and then another $1,000
To repair it.
repair the bus.
Then he would repay you a total of $5,000 rather than $4,000.
Correct.
So it was essentially a $1,000 charge on the loan. But you're saying it was his suggestion.
Yes, it was his
Okay.
suggestion.
Did you suggest that?
I think I did, yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, I think I did.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions?
Nope.
All right, we're going to excuse both of you while we resolve this case for you. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's pretty clear. We start out with the promissory note.
Right.
And the plaintiff seems quite credible, and the defendant is quite willing to admit his mistakes, I guess. He did offer a solution, but the plaintiff rejected it, and he owes her for the loan. One question was there an inappropriate amount of interest? But I believe her where she says the defendant offered an extra $1,000 as an inducement to give her that money, so
Yes.
I wouldn't consider that to be interest in that sense.
Does that get us out of usury laws?
I think it does.
If
I think in
the-
the context of this case, it would. I mean, that's the way I see
Ask
it.
for it. I'm just inclined to give her what she wants.
Look, she's clearly entitled to have the principal
loan,
on the
the loan
loan
amount.
repaid. There's no doubt about liability. There's no doubt about her entitlement to the loan. I think that the spirit and the reason for the usury laws are to prevent people from taking advantage of a loan
totally agree with you.
situation.
But he said, if you give me this, I'll give you $1,000 more as an inducement to give her the money. And I think under those circumstances, he's not being taken advantage of.
So what amount are you saying that you would want to give her?
I
The amount
want
that
to
she-
give her what she's asked for, $4,605. This is not usury.
By the way, I agree that she's not taking advantage of him, and I don't believe
I don't either.
I don't believe that there was
I don't
any
either.
malicious.
And remember, it's 3 years that have gone by. So you want to do the compact 10% for 3 years?
You know what? Michael,
Yeah.
you're right. I was concerned about the rate of interest because it was 20% over 3 months.
okay.
But it has now been 20% over 3 years.
So it sounds like you're on
Good.
board.
It's not.
I
serious.
agree. And we have a unanimous verdict.
Excellent.
This court is again in session.
All right, we have resolved your case. The verdict is unanimous. We had some discussion about the $1,000, whether it was inappropriate interest or whether it was something more of an inducement and rather than interest, but we don't really have to resolve that. You did not pay back this loan for over 3 years, and if we use the usury interest rate or the legal rate of 10%, he'd owe you beyond the $1,000 that was added to the amount of the loan to you. You are suing the defendant for $4,605, and that is the verdict of the court in favor of the plaintiff. Stay away from the slots.